Today's vlog is simple. We are at the Northern Mariana Islands is Heritage Museum. This is the NMI Museum where we are going to be learning the history and how the island of Saipan, Tinyagola, and all the other islands are connected among cultures and heritage through many years of dedications, and the history is bound to be explained through this documentary. Please continue by subscribing and supporting to this channel, and if you guys haven't subscribed, please do so. We are waiting on our classmates. Our field trip is over here, the NMI History Museum, and our teachers right there. So it's going to be a good heritage. I think it's a type of exercise. I'm not sure, but yep, it's a good day, pretty good day to do the normal, and really good. So I would enjoy this adventure, most likely. So we are here at the NMI Museum.
Okay, you can take the pictures except for one room where they have paintings.
Yes, sir.
You can't take the, come on in, everybody. So this is the prehistory. This is a little Spanish, but this side and this side is the prehistory. And you see some artifacts that these are actual artifacts that the people used for tools as well as decoration, and of course shells are used as barter of exchange. All right, this is a small one, maybe for a boy. All right, and Anson was a man. How do we know what the proa looks like? How do we know? Well, we have some things from some paintings, but we had a man, a British sailor, visited the Marianas Islands of Guam, and he drew this. He drew a kind of outline of it. And the Perez family, you know the Perez family? They run 500 Sails. It's an organization here in Saipan that promotes natural sailing. They call it, God bless you, it's going to be cold in here. The 500 Sails is the name of when the Spanish came here, they saw a lot of boats, right? A lot of the Sacman and other kinds of boats, because the ancient Chamorros were skilled navigators. Unfortunately, that when the Spanish came, they destroyed a lot of the ships, because the Chamorros were very good sailors, and they used guerrilla tactics. They often, remember that Spain set up the colony mainly in Guam. The population decreased because of disease and also because of the war, Chamorro Wars. And so they brought a lot of people to Guam so they can control them, all right? And then later on they brought in Filipinos and Mexicans, because Mexico was part of the Spanish Empire. The Spanish had a huge empire, all right? And when the original people came here, the Europeans, they saw many, like 500 sails, Can you imagine seeing 500 sails? You don't see it today. But the Perez family, they found this picture of the Sacman. They used that to build their boats. Okay, and today they don't use wood, the original materials, because it will cost about $60,000. Instead they use fiberglass. Okay, you got it? All right. So now here you look around. Of course, this is not prehistory. This is the Bible. So who brought the Bible? You can get an idea about the housing and stuff, okay? And here's some of the materials made. Of course, the Spanish influence. The Chamorros hardly wore any clothes originally, right?
Yes.
And this is an actual dress worn during the Spanish period. I don't know the Spanish period, but at least, I don't know. And this photo shows already European influence, right? The weaving and stuff and the clothes. Okay, let's continue. The Lani House, a replica of the Lani House. See? Did everybody live in lottie houses?
Yeah.
No? Who lives in a lottie house? The upper class lived in the lottie house. Right, that was upper class. What's the advantage of the lottie stone? How does that protect, what is the advantage of having a lottie stone in the house? How would it benefit the people? It's a good foundation. What else? Prevents what? Yes, it's above the ground. That's good. That's good. What else is the advantage of the structure of the lottie house? What can't get into the house? Rats. They can't navigate that. All right? And we know we have rats. Mr. Wixman had a rat in his house one time. He ate through the screen. I couldn't believe he had such strong teeth. You know? All right? Does anybody have rats in their house? You're dealing with it? Are you dealing with it? The sticky paper. Sticky. You use the sticky paper. So here, most of the people would sleep over here. They would do their cooking down here. Sometimes they kept it for their boat, as a shelter for the boat, or they built a separate facility for the boat. All right, here are shards from pottery. These are the actual shards. You can find them. You can find them all around the island here. However, it is government policy that if you find them, please bring them to the museum, because we want to maintain the culture. All right? Now, I have to tell you that in another room, about 3 years ago, we had the skeletal remains of the ancient Chamorros. And I had, I brought a Chinese tour, the people, the Chinese, mostly they were Chinese, they were studying to get the tourist license. And I, you know, so they had to, I took them to the museum to get a background. And then when they went to, I showed them the bones, they freaked out. You know, now the bones are not kept here because we want to bury them in respect to the culture and the religious belief. Yeah.
Where did you bury them?
Where did they bury them? Yeah. There are some ancestral spots, you know. It is a problem when we build, you know, when they build a casino, it was very close to the burial ground. So they had to make adjustments, you know. Even the Native Americans, we used to keep the skeletal remains of the Indians in a museum. That's disrespectful. So the Indian nations, they got together and they said, take it out. We're going to give them, that's not nice. You know, how would you like your remains in the museum, you know? Like this with a cup of, with some betel nut. Work in the field of forensics. She's able to tell what the person looks like. It's an interesting job if anybody wants to get into that, you know. And this is what the guy looked like. And we gave him the name Taga because Taga is very important in Chamorro culture. And the thing about him is they when they found his remains, they saw that he had a tremendous, very powerful muscular structure. You know, when we lift weights, you know, bodybuilders, they try to build up this area here because they're lifting heavy weights. His was better than Arnold Schwarzenegger's. So he was powerful. He was a strong man. Of course, life at that time, you had to live close to nature. You had to survive. It's not like today we go to the supermarket and get on our computer. Pardon?
Buy corned beef.
Yeah. All right, so does anybody have any questions? This is what the Chamorros use for hunting and for war.
Oh, I like the chinelas.
Slingstone. You like the necklace?
Chinelas.
Oh, the chinela. Yeah, nice. And of course, this hat was similar to the one used by the Chamorro warriors in battle. Remember, the warrior, when the Chamorros had inter-island warfare, it wasn't a holocaust. What do I mean by that? They didn't slaughter each other. One guy got wounded, they stopped it, and then they give reparations. You know, it's some similar to the American Indians, that the highest display of culture is what they call coup. Coup is you ride into your enemy with a stick and touch him right away. That's considered more courageous than going around and shooting everybody. So it's not wars of extermination. Today, in the modern world, we have wars of extermination. Tragedy. This is the human condition. All right, hope we can overcome it. Can you imagine the people living in here before the Spanish? You know? Mother-chan would come. They would bow, you know.
It's gonna be super cold.
Cool, yeah. Well, you know, like in the Philippines, they have the nipa.
That's cool, yeah.
It's cool. The advantage is it's nice and comfortable. You know, they didn't have air conditioning, so this was nice. And they didn't have to work 9 to 5. They just gathered. They gathered what they needed, and they spent time with their families. It's only later in human history when we have the agricultural revolution that people started to develop all kinds of physical diseases because they worked from sun up to sun down. Before that, human beings were hunter-gatherers. They would go gather what they needed, eat, and then if they ran out of food, they go hunt again, and they spent most of their time with their families. Then because we wanted to be able to guarantee the source of food. Insecurity is a great motivation for human beings. They developed agriculture, all right? And with the development of agriculture, development of cities and towns, and more developed civilizations, all right? So the local people lived off the land. They had a very good diet. They ate fish, taro, and other fruits. You know, rice was cultivated here. However, rice was not in abundance. It was prized. Rice was sometimes given as a present or as a medium of exchange. Okay, so let's look around here now. Here's another pottery. Here's some paintings. I think it was the French painter who did this. You can't take pictures of this because it might fade. But you can see how the people dressed and what they were engaged in. They were engaged in fishing. I don't see the picture I always liked. They had a kite, and they used a kite for fishing. I don't see it here anymore. They used there's the thing that goes around the neck. Here, this part here. You see this? Pretty big, right? That's how people got around at that time. And came to the museum. Yeah. All right. So that's Dr. Ohura. The Japanese provide modern medicine for the people. Remember, this is very important islands for the Japanese Empire. And the Japanese are very much into cleanliness and all. They try to eliminate disease, and many Japanese families lived here, okay? The Japanese brought other people here. Who else did they bring here, the Japanese? The Japanese people came here, who else? Some Koreans and Filipinos, of course, who else? Okinawans. Not so much they are Filipinos as Okinawans, because the Philippines was now America. Garapan in Japanese language. And you can check here, you can see.
I wasn't taking pictures.
Okay, you can take pictures. The islands. Alright? And he had, the people here were working to produce sugar. It's very profitable, the sugar business. The whole thing was around sugar. And he brought a lot of Okinawans in and Koreans. Alright? Railroad book. From the Japanese period. See that? to go through this, and you can watch this. This is all from the Japanese period. Alright, this is the war. See the war. Alright. Look at this, it's interesting. It says the flag of surrender carried by the 19 final holdouts on Anatahan on June 30th, 1951. The war is over in 1945, but the soldiers still hiding in Anatahan. And this is the white flag that came out. They were told the war is over, surrender. All right? There's a guy in the Philippines there for 20 years. He wrote a book called No Surrender. He went back to Japan. He was considered like a very famous, like a Rambo, you know, like a superstar. He didn't like running. He didn't like the moderns. He liked the traditional, because Japan changed. So he moved to
Is it the technology?
The Japanese people were very way of that nationalism, that pride of being Japanese. Japanese never lost the war. We're very proud.
Yeah, she said yes.
So here we have the TTTI. That's very specific to very ways death is required. Here are some people, you can read the things around here, all right? Okay. And it's very, very nice.
Welcome to the vlog, guys. Oh my god. Hit changer. Vlogging. This is my teacher, guys, right here.
You're so cute. I love
Mr. Wixman. NMI Heritage right here. Okay, you know, I'll be over there. This
This is from here. This was made the introduction was as a slave. Mr. Gerald Ford, he signed the covenant. We have a copy of that. We have actually a document in our library. The actual pen, and we have the actual document in our textbook library. We have this is the empire, an empire that covered South America, Mexico, and places in the Marianas Islands and Micronesia. Okay? And they had a galleon trade. They had these big ships called galleons, big sail ships. And they went from Indonesia, you know, they had the Philippines. Manila was an international port where many Chinese businessmen would go, and they'd have a trade. They trade from Manila. All right, so the galleon trade was Acapulco to Manila, and one of the ships, they often come here for supplies, called the Concepcion. in the early 1600s, got shipwrecked. And there was, this book is excellent. The Treasure of the Conception, you can buy this book. And it shows the wonderful treasure in here, okay? We used to have gold display here, but they took them out, it was too dangerous. Over here. But, all right, but we were afraid that people will come at night and enrich themselves. The local people, they took the cannons, they brought it out, they hid it. All right? This is the conception.
The nephew drove it, and then what you call that, went to a wrong route where they were a typhoon was more worse in that area.
Right, and it crashed.
Yeah, it crashed.
It sunk.
The mutiny on board.
Oh.
Yeah,
The local people, they helped them. You can see the pictures here. The local people helped themselves to some of the booty. You see?
The booty?
Yeah.
Wait, what? Oh, I only said it on
They took the things from the. Some survivors. Some people
I
survived.
saw it a while ago. I thought. Okay.
The what?
No, nothing.
No. But this is what happened when they took the.
Nice.
All right, and there's some survivors, some died.
Very nice.
Okay, and the Spanish sent